West Coast, middle of the country. Everybody in America was treated to greatness. This is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports. I'm Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. And this weekend was pure cinema. I want to take you back a week ago. Monday, December 29th, the first day of the rest of our entire lives. Day one of the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports. The first day of Westwood One Sports live 24/7 across the country, and what it felt like to have watched the 49ers and the Bears square off. And I thought, that is the game of the year in the National Football League. And then last night happened. And while calling it the game of the year would probably be hyperbolic, given 26-24 may not have been as entertaining as what we got between the Bears and the 49ers, the implications, the fact that it was a playoff game, the fact the postseason was on the line, the play-in game in the AFC to win the division. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 26. The Baltimore Ravens, 24. If you are listening live, it is 6:01:49 in the AM on the East Coast, meaning it is earlier for you anywhere further west in our great country. And if you stayed up for this, it was worth it. If you only got 4.5 hours, 5 hours of sleep because you stayed up for this, it was worth it. When the question marks were there, can the Baltimore Ravens, the team that just seems to choke it away in the postseason, the team that seems to choke it away when the time is right and it matters the most, can that organization, can that team get it done? But wait a second. When it seemed like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that can never get it right, that can never win in the postseason, can that team get it right? Can that team get it done? When those two things meet, you get a fourth quarter of back and forth, incredible football. Snip, snap, snip, snap. Ravens go up, Steelers go up. Ravens go up, Steelers go up. And to crescendo the night, pure 2007, 2008, 20 years later, Aaron Rodgers is still leading game-winning drives in the National Football League. I go back to the shortest Jets career in history, him taking the American flag through the tunnel. Gets hurt instantly, and you think, is his career finally done? Is he going to hang it up? And now here we are, January 5th, on a Monday in the year of our Lord 2026, and the Pittsburgh Steelers come back from 10 down early to win the game against the Ravens and go to the playoffs. First note here. If you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, you are gutted. This happened again. This is the theme. Take you all the way back. Antonio Brown touchdown with 9 seconds left. Tyler Boyd touchdown on 4th and 12. 14-2 Baltimore upset by Ryan Tannehill. Lamar pick six. Tyler Huntley fumble touchdown. Zay Flowers fumble. Mark Andrews drop. Tyler Loop miss. If you did not get to watch this game last night, it was on our network, Westwood One. Let's take you through the story of the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll start right here.
Oh my God.
Momentarily, that is. Right here being me telling you the story of the second half being completely different for Pittsburgh. We go to the third quarter. The end of the first half, the Steelers have the ball inside the 10-yard line. That a pass interference in the end zone gives them the ball at the 2 with 2 seconds to go. They flub it. They're still down by a score going into the break. Score a touchdown to open the third quarter. And here are the drives that Pittsburgh enjoyed third quarter on. Touchdown, field goal, punt, touchdown, touchdown. A tale of the second half from Mike Tomlin and company. And if you listened to Mike Tomlin and anybody else out of the Steelers camp before this game, the rhetoric was entertaining because the way Tomlin spoke was as if this was the do or die that could be do or die for him. All of the noise is John Harbaugh done if he loses. All of the noise is Mike Tomlin done if he loses. Became this, where Baltimore had a chance up 10-0 to put it away, and once again couldn't in the postseason. Now we have that audio. Here's how it sounded from John.
Jackson holds his hands in front of his chest, brings a receiver in short motion from the right. Jackson waiting, play clock down to 3. Here's the snap, back to throw. Lamar looking, throws deep down the middle, wide open, it's caught. 10 to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown Ravens. It's Devontae Walker, a 38-yard touchdown. And the Ravens convert on 4th down. They have taken a 6-0 lead.
That was to open the game for Baltimore. And you're once again questioning the same Steelers defense that allowed the Browns to win. And it wasn't the defense necessarily for the team that let the Browns into that game. It was the offensive deficiency. The fact that they scored 6 points against the Browns, now 26 against Baltimore. But you started thinking back to that game. You started thinking back, at least I did, to the way that the Ravens, without Lamar Jackson, were able to beat the Green Bay Packers. But that quick start it felt like eons removed from when we went to the fourth quarter, and Zay Flowers was an animal. Here's how it sounded.
3rd down and 4. Trips left, single man right. Henry back in the game as the running back. Ball is at midfield. Jackson in the shotgun. Fans on their feet. Play clock is at 6. Jackson gets the snap. Back to pass. Rush coming. Steps up. Gets away. Moving left. Flips his hips. Going deep. Down the field for Flowers. He's got it. Inside the 5. To the end zone. Touchdown Ravens. A 50-yard touchdown pass. Lamar Jackson, a magician in the backfield, gets away and finds Flowers for the TD. And the Ravens have retaken the lead. 8:42 to go. It is 16-13 Baltimore, and that was the best of Lamar Jackson.
There is now an opportunity, despite being on the road. You had surrendered the lead up 10-0. Now you're down 13-10. You're back up 17-13. There is an opportunity to regain the confidence and say, you know what? We let the lead slip. We're not going to do it again. And that's exactly what happens. Steelers go up 20-17. And then it is Lamar Jackson to Zay Flowers. Again, Ryan Radke on Westwood 1.
3rd down and inches. Jackson in the gun, gets the snap, fakes the toss, back to pass, looking, going deep down the field. Flowers wide open at the 30, to the 20, to the 15, the 10, the 5, end zone. Touchdown Ravens. Zay Flowers goes the distance, and the Ravens are back in front. They faked the toss, and Zay Flowers was wide open. It's a 64-yard touchdown, and the Ravens have a 23-20 lead with 2:20 to go.
2:20. Old man Aaron Rodgers. Does he still have his fastball? Can he march them down the field, trailing by 4 points? Pittsburgh has to have a touchdown, and Aaron Rodgers, to put the Steel City up in the Steel City, does this.
Boswell for another big PAT. His kick is up. It is no good. He missed it wide right. And the lead is 2, 26-24. Now a Ravens field goal could win it.
55 seconds. The Ravens have all 3 timeouts.
Wow.
You'll remember 13 seconds was enough for Patrick Mahomes. We love that number 13. We love to bring it up. Can nearly a minute be enough for Lamar Jackson? And the answer is actually yes. Kickoff return to the 45-yard line, midfield. Lamar Jackson, even on 4th and 7, puts the ball squarely inside of field goal range, inside of the 30. Baltimore is set up with 12-ish seconds to go and a timeout for what would be about a 45-yard field goal for their rookie, Tyler Loop. And they can run the ball with Derrick Henry to put themselves in better field position than a 45-ish yard field goal. They could throw the ball with Lamar Jackson, a slant route, gain 5, 6, 10 more yards to put your rookie in better position for a game-winning field goal against your division rival on the road to decide whether or not you go to the postseason. What they opt to do is throw in the towel. Hey, we'll just down it here, and then from there, call our timeout, take our shot, 44, 45, somewhere in there, we trust the leg of Tyler Loop. And here it is, what could be the game-winning field goal for the Baltimore Ravens and Tyler Loop to go to the postseason.
He has not missed from inside 50 yards. This will be a 44-yard attempt. It will come from the middle of the field. It's for the division. Loop is ready. Here's the snap, the spot, the kick is on the way. It is no good. He missed it. It's wide to the right, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have won the division. The Steelers are going to the playoffs. Tyler Loop missed it wide right, and the Steelers have won the game 26-24. Pittsburgh wins the AFC North. They will go to the playoffs.
Again, credit to Ryan Radke, Mike Golick Sr. for the call on our own network. Westwood won last night between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Tyler Loop, the field goal is no good, and the Pittsburgh Steelers march to the playoff. In a game where the losing coach may be relieved of their duties, a legendary coach at that organization. I will use that word and use it correctly for both of these coaches with the Ravens and the Steelers, Super Bowl winning coaches with these organizations. They will go down with statues outside of the stadiums in these respective cities, but it did not feel like that coming into the game. It did not feel like I trust Mike Tomlin despite his ability to win. It did not feel like I had to trust John Harbaugh for the Ravens' inability to clutch up in those moments. It's Baltimore and it's Buffalo that we mentioned so often in that vein of teams that get so close but just cannot get it done. Pittsburgh doesn't even have a seat at that table. They don't even have a word, a breath in that conversation because of the lack of meaningful games they have been in for the last decade. They've gotten to the postseason. They've been in games like this against Baltimore, but there is still a very good chance. As exciting as last night was, as fun as last night was, there is still a very good chance it's a moot point in a week's time if Pittsburgh loses a home playoff game. For now, the magic is there. You relish in it. You show up to work today in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and you could not be more excited about what the Steelers were able to do against the Ravens to make the playoff. You came in almost apathetic about where the organization sits and the future of this season, the direction under Mike Tomlin, and now after that win, you're revived into believing once again. They rope you in, they make you believe. A Ravens fan, they roped you in, they made you believe. You live in Annapolis. You're driving to work right now thinking, I stayed up for that because they roped me in. They had the lead 24-20. They gave the ball to old man Aaron Rodgers. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. The defense just has to shore up. We can't allow a touchdown. If we don't allow a touchdown, then it's over. And instead, the Steelers take a lead. Miss the extra point. You're wondering, okay, can we get within field goal range? Immediately, you're halfway there. On 4th and 7, you convert. It's a chip shot field goal. Your rookie kicker has never missed inside of 50 yards, and there it is, wide. Magical. I have never subscribed to the idea that the NFL scripts these things, that there is somewhere deep in the doldrums, the catacombs of Roger Goodell's office, written out from typewriter, exactly how the games will play out each weekend in the National Football League. But after watching last night, if there is a script, if this thing is planned, well, my credit to the chef. They built it beautifully. And now the postseason is set. On top of that, top to bottom weekend across the National Football League, where we learned there is a 1 seed. The Seattle Seahawks. The team that is likely the favorite now to win the Super Bowl. They are, if you ask Las Vegas. With a quarterback who has 14 interceptions this season and 6 fumbles, 20 turnovers. But their defense is historic. Denver clinches it. Are the Broncos officially back? Is Sean Payton holding the keys to a Super Bowl contender? New England hosting the Chargers. Throw in the towel. They didn't care. They didn't care this week. They didn't need to care. Their sights are set on Foxborough. The Bills and the Jags, the Texans, the Steelers. We'll see the Bears host a postseason game against the Packers that could also make a change for their head coach. the National Football League is as entertaining as ever in a year where the Bears, the Panthers, the Jags, the new look Patriots, the Broncos are all in the playoffs. And it all starts right now. There are idiots of the day. Crazy Boston sports fan will join us. Jesse Holley, the Dallas Cowboys legend, will join the show today as well. Top to bottom, 1 seed down. The 14 teams in the race for the Super Bowl in the postseason officially begins now. And coming up, the pipeline to the NFL. College football just did something to show me its strength in the same way as the National Football League is perfectly fine. College football, the NFL, the state of football in America is not near as dour as when you turn the TV on and the talking heads say the system is broken, the sport is dead. It is not. Here is why it's not. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Hey, but so you guys
Back in the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you coast to coast on Westwood One Sports, the National Football League. Its postseason is set. College football, the transfer portal has opened. Nearly 4,000 names have entered into it. The heat of the NBA season is on. The offseason in Major League Baseball. The NHL standings continue to shift. Sports are at its pinnacle. There are, I'm reading WNBA headlines, women's basketball and women's collegiate basketball scores all weekend long. Sports at this time of year, college football playoff at this time of year, there is an endless amount to point your eyes to and an endless amount to tune your ears to on the Drake Toll Show. I'm Drake Toll. Here to tell you that the people on your television, the people on your radio spewing the idea that college football is dead, those people are wrong. The numbers are in from bowl season in college football. If you're wondering if this pipeline to the NFL, what's building toward these NFL games that you're seeing today, the college stars that become the pro stars of tomorrow, if you're wondering if that pipeline is dead, if that pipeline is suffering, the answer is no. At least not in the way that America consumes it. At least not in the way that people will have you think. This conversation starts with BYU, Georgia Tech, and Pop-Tarts. 8.7 million people on ABC tuned in for Georgia Tech and BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, where they watched formerly living Pop-Tarts sacrifice themselves in a giant toaster in front of a crowd in Orlando. And as these Pop-Tarts were lowering themselves into the toaster, 200 yards away in the locker room, there's another team crying because its season is over as those festivities commence. That 8.7 million is more than any NFL game from Europe this season on NFL Network. Better than Oregon and Penn State on NBC this season, and better than Game 6 of the Knicks and Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. We have college football teams in what are typically called meaningless bowl games that are beating out Knicks Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals and the NFL in Europe. I think this says a lot about the current state of pro sports. The National Football League wants to expand. What can we do in London? What can we do in Mexico City? What could we do in Ireland? What if we go to Wembley? What if we go to these wild venues and showcase what our league can do? The NBA, hey, how do we find more exposure as the viewership goes down? Where does the exposure, where do the views come from in the modern era in 2026? How do we get people reinvested in their time in the NBA? Major League Baseball, this number, 8.7 million, is rivaling World Series games between the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. They're considering, how can we build stars? How can we do things different? I work for the Savannah Bananas. The entire conversation is about building fans. Every marketing conversation is about building fans, which builds viewers, which builds exposure, which builds ultimately revenue and strength of your company, the ability to stay alive. And what college football is right now is on the backbone of schools like BYU and Georgia Tech. The Jacksonville Jaguars of the college football and what it is. That organization, you're like, they're winning. That's interesting. How fun. The organizations in the NFL, the Houston Texans are Georgia Tech. The organizations where you don't look at them as stalwarts of viewership. You don't look at them as stalwarts of the postseason that are carrying you to victory as a league and promoting what you do and your product. But it is what you're getting out of BYU, out of Georgia Tech, and out of the bowl system that I was told was dead. What college football wanted to do is move to a format of 12 teams that are selected by 12 men and women who meet in a room with cloaks on. They come around the table, they do a seance, they pick 12 teams, they throw them in. And the format is so broken. You're giving teams like Tulane and James Madison, who you have not heard of, who you could not name a player from, you're adding them to the playoff. Now, I'm not saying because you haven't heard of them. I'm not saying because they don't have a player that you could name that they do not deserve to be there. But this year, they simply just did not deserve to be there. They did not have the roster strength to compete for the postseason. This would be like if we got to the end of the year. If we had the Cleveland Browns play 17 games and 16 of those games were against college football teams. We got to the end of the season and said, yeah, let the Browns into the playoffs. They deserve it. They have the resume to do it. Well, yeah, of course they have the resume to do it. They played 16 teams that are not in the same stratosphere as the rest of the National Football League. They're not even close to this. That is such a broken system. You would not do that in the National Football League. So a lot of people, lazy people, will point at college football and they will say, dead. No one's watching that. Why would they watch that? The transfer portal's killed everything good. NIL's killed everything good. The players are getting paid. I hate it. And the numbers come out, and it is as alive as ever. You're listening to the Drake Toll Show. I'm Drake Toll. Talking the future of college football, the future of the National Football League, the NBA, the MLB, as we view it, because the most important piece of this is the viewership. As you sit in your car right now in Marshall, Texas, as you sit in your car in Ames, Iowa, you're driving to work in Greenville, South Carolina, what you must understand about the National Football League, about the NCAA, about the NBA, about the NHL, is that these leagues operate on whether or not you are turning your TV on every night. It is advertising dollars that are going to make these leagues the most money. It's advertising dollars that are going to sway what they do. They do not have your best interest at heart. What they want is for you to view the games. When the numbers come out, when the ratings come out, that is when they can call the car dealerships. That is when they can call the alcohol companies. That is when they can call the insurance moguls and say, buy my product, invest in me. When 8.7 million people are watching a bowl game that the announcers call an exhibition, when they are watching what is called the Pop-Tarts Bowl, that is something major corporations, big companies, big money, they see that and they invest in it. They see it and they put money in it. You're telling me it's dead. But instead, this is something that the second you realize, oh, I can just change my perspective and mindset and realize it's alive, it gets way more fun. It gets way more fun. Football becomes great again when we stop complaining about how bad football is and realize football still rocks. Football is still awesome. I watched, and you may think this is insane, I watched the Ravens and the Steelers play last night. I watched BYU and Georgia Tech play. I watched the Niners play the Seahawks and East Carolina play Pittsburgh, not the Steelers, the Panthers. And in each of those contests, felt the same little thing somewhere deep down in my stomach where I remember this is awesome. Despite turning on the TV and they want me to know how broken it is. The fact that the Steelers are hosting a playoff game. Silly. The fact that in 2026, the Panthers are hosting a playoff game. This system's broken. The fact that James Madison or Tulane will get into the college football play. This system's broken. And you know what? Maybe the system itself is broken. Maybe it's not perfect, but the viewing, the football, the players, the stories, they are there. I'm sitting at 10:43 Eastern time last night in my cozy bed in Savannah, Georgia. My dog next to my side. I have my little TV in the bedroom. It's oriented. The room is in kind of an awkward way to where the television has to pull out of the wall and rotate to where I can see it from bed. And that thing is full extension. And I'm watching Baltimore and Pittsburgh eating my sweet tart ropes, thinking, God, this rocks. When we get back into the mentality of how great football is, why we love football, whether it is East Carolina and the Pittsburgh Panthers or the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the Baltimore Ravens, that is when we get back to what makes this sport great. That is when we get back to when you are 7 years old and you're sitting in the car and you're on the way. You're on the way home from church at night on a Sunday, and what do you hear but Westwood One? This is Westwood One Sports. When that chime comes in and you think, yeah, that's what this is. We pray for a time. We wish for a time. We go back to the nostalgia of being young and watching football, to being young and watching sports and wondering where that went. But I say, if we open our eyes, I don't think it's gone anywhere. Texas Tech, their resurgence. Indiana, their surgence. The new blood in college football. In the NFL, the Panthers are in the playoffs. All because the Falcons and the Saints determined their fate. It is beautiful. Yeah. There's a bit of it. There's some Picasso to this. Not everybody's going to look at a Picasso painting and say, I love it or I get it. You're not going to see the work of Dali and say, oh, I love it. I get it. You may not. But if you're a true art aficionado, if you're an appreciator of what football is, you are watching these games gleefully because the sport that you love is alive and well. BYU and Georgia Tech. More views than any NFL game in Europe this season on NFL Network. Hey, the home is right here. Home is right here in those 50 states, baby. Home is right here where the National Football League will play its postseason the rest of the way. And imagine, when I say system is broken, imagine that there's a year where the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes play the Bills and Josh Allen, and they do it at the Rose Bowl. They play that game at the Rose Bowl. I hate that. We're going from Kansas City to Pasadena, from Buffalo to Pasadena. That's terrible. Don't do that to me. It's what college football does with Alabama and Indiana. It's bad. The system is not right. There are plenty of holes to poke in this. Not everything's perfect. I'm not telling you it is. But I remembered last night for the first time in a little bit. As much as I hear about how bad the game is, how bad the NFL's gotten, I can't watch the NFL anymore. How bad college football is. It's just the transfer portal. It's ruined the whole thing. I don't want to watch it anymore. I remembered again that football is a sacred time for each of us to become as angry as possible, as happy as imaginable, and once again, remember why we love sports. I remembered last night as the rookie Tyler Loop missed a 44-yard field goal, has not missed one inside 50 all year. I remembered last night what it felt like to be in awe of the sport of football. The Pop-Tarts Bowl it planted the seed for me. And my gridiron Grinch heart that longs for the days of yesteryear where the kickoff was a true man's kickoff and not whatever they do now, which I have come to actually enjoy. This gridiron Grinch who longs for yesteryear, my heart got 3 times bigger, starting with the Pop-Tarts Bowl and ending with Pittsburgh and Baltimore last night. Football is more than fine. And it's why you got up today to go work at the factory. There's in Pooler, Georgia, 40 minutes from here. Thousands of people woke up and they went to the Hyundai factory like an hour ago. And those people can think, yeah, I did only get a few hours of sleep, but that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game really rocked. We still get that. We still have that in 2026. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. You know, there are things in life that aren't quite beautiful, including our biggest losers of the day, the New York Giants, for winning a football game. Here's why that's a problem. This is the Drake Toll Show. Exactly one Yoo-hoos today. Twitter, or the YouTube chat is popping, by the way.
Oh, I know. I can see it. Is your girlfriend like an avid Yoo-hoo drinker, or is this just a Drake Toll thing?
Addie, I think I'm the only avid Yoo-hoo drinker in the world.
That is true.
Boy, yeah. I have 2 empty cans on my desk as well as 2 empty Gatorade Zeros that I just haven't thrown away.
I just want to know how one tries a Yoo-hoo. Like, you see chocolate water and you're like, man, I got to drink that.
When I was a kid, I thought it was chocolate milk. I think everyone starts there with like, oh, look, chocolate milk. And then it's just not. It really is. The more you say chocolate water, and the first time you said that, I thought, oh, that's gross. And since then, I have not drank it the same.
I'm ruining Yoo-hoos for you.
Yeah, that's not great.
Do I play a bed here? Music bed.
Which one is this? Biggest Losers? I don't know. Do we have a bed for Biggest Losers, Addie?
No, I have, because I haven't figured. Armin sent me 8 p.m. music, but I don't have access to the library. And I found a bed that I liked, but I can't download it.
Nice.
So, no.
Okay.
Sorry. But let's talk about...
All right, let's Biggest Losers from these folks.
But yeah, like I said, it can't go wrong because gone right. Because we
okay, wow.
We've never done.
It's literally still at 0.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
ours at hell.
Correct.
Yeah.
Take it lower than that.
Well, but again, nothing here, correct?
Right, right.
Correct.
No bad here.
Okie doke. All right, come back.
Good morning. Welcome to the Drake Toll Show. Have a seat. I'm Drake Toll from the Savannah Bananas organization. Locked on Big 12. College football kickoff on Amazon Fire TV. And it's time for our Biggest Losers on the Drake Toll Show. There are a lot of losers today. But you, my friend, you are not one of them. Feel it right now. Your hands on the steering wheel. The toothbrush upon you. Not while you're driving. These are two separate people. One of you is brushing your teeth. The other is driving to work. Taking your kids to school. Driving the bus. Maybe you're in the Uber. You get your AirPods in. on the Westwood One app, the Drake Toll Show YouTube page, and you're wondering, how could I get involved in the Drake Toll? I would love to be involved in the Drake Toll Show. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. You can call or text. If you're not in a place where you feel comfortable calling, you can text 310-840-4910. Drake Toll with you, Westwood One Sports, Westwood One app. There you are. There you go. Selma, Alabama. You're hanging out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Carson City, Nevada, Ada, Nevada, or Boston, Massachusetts, the greater area. You're in Plymouth, or you're in Hyannis. And you're wondering, how are you not the biggest loser? You may feel like the biggest loser today, but you're not, because touch yourself. The sentience that's upon you. You're in the middle of a football season, of a playoff. College football, the NFL, that makes all of us winners. Unless you are, of course, a part of these leagues and you're a team that continues to lose. Or, in the case of our first biggest loser, a team that won their game. 16-14, Tampa Bay over Carolina. I watched this game. And if you weren't here in August, do not ping me in January. I had to sit through 16-14 and wonder how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could not. We talk about it in baseball a lot. If you watch Major League Baseball, the conversation is typically, hey, that game on June 7th matters just as much as the game on September 2nd. But we lose sight of that as fans. We get to the end of the season and think, how did we not just win one more? How did the Buccaneers, after October 26th, just completely fall apart? I get it. The loss to New England, on the road, at Buffalo, and at Los Angeles, playing the Rams. Those make sense. Arizona, you beat them at home 20-17, and in your last 5 games, I'm asking you to win just 2. That's right, 2 games. For the Bucs to win 2 games against New Orleans, who at that time we did not know Tyler Shuck and company would be this good. And this weekend, they weren't. You lost to the Falcons 29-28. That was a surprise. The 7-6 Bucs coming against the Falcons at home. They can give themselves even better playoff positioning, and they lose. That was a surprise. The 6-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You go to Carolina 23-20. It's not a Carolina team playing particularly well. It's not an unbeatable Carolina team. You play Miami with Baker Mayfield throwing for 346 yards, but your leading rusher, 19 yards. 20-17, you lose last week. And then the second you decide to win a game, 16-14, the Bucs over Carolina. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Because of what happened 1,000 miles away from you, between New Orleans and Atlanta, dashes your odds at going to the playoff, kills your odds at the playoff, and you're done. Your season is over. 19-17, the New Orleans Saints down the Falcons, and the Bucs will sit at home and watch everybody else, including the Panthers that they just beat, go and play with a chance to make the Super Bowl. If there is any consolation I can give our biggest loser, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it is that Carolina will most assuredly not beat the Los Angeles Rams on Saturday. That you can rest very easy knowing that either you would have had to get absolutely smacked by the Rams or that Carolina was going to get smacked by the Rams. It's going to be somebody else. You get a week's head start on Cancun. Have fun on vacation. Arguably a bigger loser. Drake Toll with you on the Drake Toll Show. And no, it is not me. Arguably a bigger loser. The New York Football Giants. For beating the Dallas Cowboys and dropping to the 5th draft pick. You understand the Giants could have been on the clock. We were not that far removed from talking about the NFL giving its first overall pick to the Giants. And now they are at 5. You've got your quarterback. In a year where it's not that strong of a quarterback draft class, I don't see him looking right now. And Dante Moore is kind of it. He's the only guy they're projecting that's in the top 5, and I haven't been that blown away by watching Dante Moore. I've watched a lot of college football this year, and Dante Moore doesn't jump off the page to me. You've already got your Jackson Dart. You're gonna go in with him and Cam Scattaboo next season. But the Raiders across the way, they clinched the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft because the New York Football Giants, coachless, beat the Dallas Cowboys 34-17. Absolute pummeling. The Jets will pick second, the Cardinals at 3, the Tennessee Titans at 4. The Giants, who began the day yesterday with the number 2 draft position, fell to 5th. They are so incredibly terrible at losing. They're terrible at losing when losing matters most. Of their wins since 2023, half of them have come week 16 or later. You already know that the Giants are out of this. If I am in Saugerties, New York right now, opening up my donut shop to serve hot, glorious donuts to the world, thinking, how when my favorite team, the Giants, lose, how do we somehow lose even worse than I thought? How do we lose more than I thought? On a way that's not even encapsulated by the gridiron. How do we lose even worse than I thought? Because we went from the opportunity, the possibility, the thought, the mind of what if we get the number 1 overall pick? What if we are on the clock? To the 5th pick? Pick 5 can be good, but it's not near as sexy. Not near as sexy as what number 1 could have been. Winning. I mean, the Jets, you look back, the Jets a few weeks ago, they beat the Falcons. And if the Jets don't beat the Falcons, they have the number 1 pick. And the Falcons get to go to the postseason. We're talking about a much different National Football League right now than what reality could have been a few weeks ago. That was back when we had no idea that this 0.7% possibility of the Falcons and Saints game determining who goes to the playoff in the South between the Panthers and the Bucs. That was back when there was a 0.7% chance that game would have any implication. And then we got to this weekend, and the Saints-Falcons meant everything for our biggest loser, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Drake Toll with you on the Drake Toll Show. Mike McDonald. He is not the biggest loser today. Leading the charge with the Seattle Seahawks. This is from Bo Smolka. Mike McDonald already had a job lined up at KPMG, the accounting firm KPMG, in 2015. And today, our biggest loser is KPMG. That's when the Ravens called about a coaching internship, 2015. McDonald said he didn't want to be 40 years old wondering what if he blew off KPMG. At age 38, he just led the Seahawks to the number 1 seed in the NFC. Talk about dominance. Analytically, from an efficiency standpoint, Mike McDonald's team is one of the best the NFL's seen in the last decade. Their DVOA, their efficiency is incredible. The defense is incredible. And it makes you wonder, what happened to the Baltimore Ravens? What happened to the Baltimore who had hired that Michigan defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald? What could have been? Well, he got stolen away, but it's all right. We've got John Harbaugh. We can still compete. We still have the nucleus of a Super Bowl contending team. Let's add Derrick Henry into the fold offensively. And since the Ravens have been stripped of their coordinators the last couple of seasons, it has just not been the same. Whereas McDonald, the guy who could have gone and worked for KPMG, is now sitting as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, 24-10 in his 2 seasons with the team, and has an opportunity with listen to this stat, with a quarterback in Sam Darnold, who has 20 combined turnovers this year, 14 interceptions. He's sitting with arguably the number 1 team in the NFL, and I will make the case later on this show, later on the Drake Toll Show, that Seattle is the team to buy as your Super Bowl favorite. After they beat the 49ers, they became the official favorite at plus 370. Those are their current odds. much to the chagrin of the Patriots at plus 950, or the Bills at plus 1100, the Packers at plus 2200, even the Bears at plus 2200. Mike McDonald and company are not the biggest losers. KPMG is, for losing McDonald when they had the opportunity to give him an offer he could not refuse. And they wouldn't do it. Instead, now he's a stalwart. And you could argue the Ravens for not trying a little bit. What if we just gave him the nudge? Stay put. Don't move across the country to Seattle. Ride it out with us. Be our head coach in waiting. Oh, what could have been in Baltimore. And our final biggest loser, I won't spend much time on it, but it's something that a lot of people aren't going to talk about today. It's Tyler Loop. I'm sorry. But if your first take is that, John Harbaugh's got to get his kicker closer, he could certainly do that. But I need to trust my NFL kicker, even a rookie. I need to trust the guy who has not missed a field goal at under 50 yards to make a 44-yard field goal in the National Football League. If you've watched the play, you're like, oh, that's a field goal that's well within range of an NFL leg. Tyler Loop says, oh, you thought, huh? You thought this was a chip shot in the National Football League. It stings. But I have no mercy for Tyler Loop. Added to the list today of biggest losers for missing a field goal that would have sent the Ravens to the postseason. And I think that momentum could have carried them to possibly a home win in round one. Coming up, plenty to go on the Drake Toll Show. Our Super Bowl favorite, a quickie, and we have our losers, our biggest losers, I should say.
This is Westwood One Sports.
just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun.
Love how he laid it all out for me. He's so nice.
I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you been creeping round my back stairs.
Wake up.
She's been looking like
Get up.
in a sailor's dream.
Prepare yourself for the Monday following a weekend full of football where we learn how the NFL slate will look this weekend in the NFC and the AFC with a Super Bowl and the race toward it in front of us. Incredible college football from Ole Miss to Miami. The Indiana Hoosiers, the Oregon Ducks, still alive in the college football playoff. And last night, what we saw between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. 10-0 Baltimore becomes 13-10 Pittsburgh. 17-13 becomes 20-17. Then 24-20. Lamar Jackson and company only give Aaron Rodgers, old man Rodgers, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And that's where Aaron Rodgers does this thing where his eyes roll back in his head. He thinks, what did I learn from the ayahuasca retreat that can make this the moment I solidify myself as a Pittsburgh Steelers legend? Maybe. Because with 2:20 to go, all the question marks of it's a great PR move, right? Everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, but can it actually work? Can it really make sense? And it does. It does. When Pittsburgh goes up 26-24, but a Boswell missed extra point means the window is open for Baltimore, and then the door is open when you learn the field goal for Tyler Loop is only 44 yards, and he shanks that thing right. Pittsburgh at home. The NFL script writers have outdone themselves. Let me be clear. I do not think the NFL is scripted, but if it is, it was very impressive what they put together, what they wrote. Some Suzanne Collins-esque stuff here. Beautiful way to spend my Sunday night. And Mike Tomlin, for the time being, has saved his job. Not that we were sure he would have lost his job. This is the same conversation you get year in and year out. Now, the last 10 years of, I don't think Mike Tomlin can still do it. I don't think John Harbaugh can still do it. I think Aaron Rodgers should retire. All of these doubters, all of these question marks that are placed on these two head coaches. The loser was going to continue to get those. The winner, at least for a week, will feel the sweet reprieve of making the postseason, and that is the case for Mike Tomlin. But it's not the case for our first obituary. Obituary, no, there it is. The gong. Obituary number 1. It is time that we mourn the loss. Occurring on Sunday, January 4th, 2026. The wee hours of the morning. Late in the evening, if you will. Into the wee hours of this morning. John Harbaugh in Baltimore. John Harbaugh may have cost himself his job last night. And maybe he deserves to be fired. The question that I have, John, if you could go back and do it differently, would you? A 2-yard kneel. You just spot that ball. You say, hey, we're just gonna take a little knee right here real quick. With 13 seconds to go, a rookie kicker. You can run the ball forward with a man named Derrick Henry. On his birthday, you could give the rock to Derrick Henry and let him tout that thing. You could have an 8-yard run, a 3-yard run. Oh, quick slant, 2 passes. First one's incomplete. Next one goes for 6 yards. Timeout. Now it's a 38-yard field goal. Now it's a 27-yard field goal. But instead, Harbaugh says, no. I'm going to knee this thing. We don't need any extra yard. No more. Don't make it any easier for the rookie. Wide right. This is a trend now. Postseason stagnation. And it's the reason he's in this obituary. Consistently high seeds or elite regular seasons that lead to nothing. And then a regular season like this where you just – and injuries are a thing. But the San Francisco 49ers had injuries. Turnovers are a thing. Sam Darnold has 20 of them. There can be excuses across the board for why this happened to the Baltimore Ravens. But I'm not buying those enough to keep John Harbaugh off the obituaries for his career with Baltimore moving forward. That is not it is not translated into postseason success, into January success since the 2012 Super Bowl run. Since then, you have limited yourself with Lamar Jackson's clock. You've taken his prime, and the closer we get to removing ourselves from that, the further you get from a Super Bowl. The further you miss the postseason with a 2-time MVP at quarterback. And that window of championships, the door of championships that seemed wide open, it is not infinite, John Harbaugh. And critics are right when they argue the old school approach to game flow might just be holding you back. Same old mistakes. And 17 seasons later, that background noise, that locker room noise, is as loud as ever. John Harbaugh is our first obituary, which takes us right into obituary number 2, Pete Carroll as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. The expectation per Jordan Schultz is that Raiders head coach Pete Carroll will be one and done in Las Vegas. And this should probably make some sense to you. We tried. We wanted to take the old dog and have him learn new tricks. But Pete Carroll, we wanted to take the guy who knows Tom Brady, been around Tom Brady, and give him the keys to a franchise that it now sounds like is run by Tom Brady. And Pete Carroll fell flat on his face this year. If the goal was to give them a good draft, the goal was to give the Raiders a good draft pick, Pete Carroll has at least succeeded in that. But his tenure with the Raiders is done. And a piece of that is because Tom Brady said, I'm going to make this thing my own. I'm going to do this thing on my own. You're listening to the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you on Westwood One Sports. Chime in at 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Pete Carroll is not that far removed either from, he's probably 8 years removed from being the guy in Seattle that if you saw him at the market, you're like, that's freaking Pete Carroll, man. Super Bowl champion with Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll. And we, I think, need to make the case at this point very clear that Pete Carroll will not coach again in the NFL. Not for the Raiders, not for anybody. That's why he's on the obituaries today. One of the most successful coaches in football history, no doubt, 100%. But the lack of postseason success toward the end of the Seahawks, the defensive decline, the absolutely lackadaisical, lackluster effort and performance by the Raiders this year, and his old school, his John Harbaugh control over personnel style, failed adaptability, as the offense has gone to the Lamar Jacksons of the world, will end his tenure as the head coach in Las Vegas. And our final obituary today. It is time to say goodbye to your favorite college football player. That's the dong right there. Yeah, yep. It's vague, no doubt, but on purpose. Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech, agreed to an NIL deal. Josh Hoover, leaving TCU for Indiana. It's a short obituary. Never buy the jersey of your favorite college football player. They will most certainly leave your favorite team and make you sad. Those are the obituaries today. It is time for the Quickie, the top 5 headlines across not just the NFL, not just the WNBA, not just the MLB, but across the country. Producer Addie Bates, welcome to the show.
Drake Toll, I'm going to have to say this. You stole one of my headlines right there. You actually stole one of my headlines. So,
okay,
a little
good.
upset about that.
You can still give me the headline. I'm sure I can find a new angle for it.
Yeah. Let's start with the first headline of the day. Quarterback Brendan Sorsby, top player in the portal, commits to Texas Tech.
Yep. Love this. We did not track the planes for this one. We had the girlfriend tracker on. His girlfriend transferred from Cincinnati volleyball to Texas Tech volleyball 2 weeks ago. And the same day, he announced that he was in the portal. Yesterday, Sorsby visited LSU. He also visited Texas Tech with both of those schools as his 1 and 2 options. Said he'd decide by the end of the evening where he was going to go. It ended up being Texas Tech. Love prevails again. Love trumps all. He will be with his girlfriend in Lubbock. They have a lazy river around their campus. I think Brendan Sorsby made a very good call here to stay in the Big 12. He is transferring across his same conference. He says no to Lane Kiffin and LSU. Shout out Brendan Sorsby, the Red Raider. They needed it, Addie. They'd scored 0 points in their playoff game.
Thank God for the lazy river, because I swear there's nothing else to do in Lubbock.
Hey, watch it. Watch it.
Hey, I'm a Texan. I can say that. Already, next headline here. Women's basketball, number 12, Vanderbilt knocks off number 5, LSU to stay undefeated.
I watched this game. People say I'm not a ball knower sometimes, and they are incorrect. I watched this game, and the frustration of Kim Mulkey was palpable. It was actually a classic down the stretch. I watched Baylor upset Iowa State on the road at Ames and knock off their undefeated season. And then I ended up watching LSU and Vanderbilt. Back and forth down the stretch. Vandy is legit. They are a team to watch the rest of the way, a team that can compete in the NCAA tournament. And if you're not watching women's college basketball right now, if it's not on your radar, if you're not at least pulling up the scores and staying vaguely tuned into it, I'll tell you it's a very entertaining season, even with Notre Dame losing yesterday. Stanford upsetting North Carolina. It's a very entertaining season. I think you should be at least vaguely tuned into this. Congratulations to Vanderbilt over Kim Mulkey and LSU. The Tigers have now lost 2 in a row. They're 0-2 in SEC play.
Wow. Some would say the SEC is bad. Some people, not me, but some
I would
people
never
say
slander
that.
the SEC like that.
Of course. That's not the Drake Toll way. By the way, Drake, if people who are watching on video, I do love how you have sort of the snow globe effect going on in your studio now.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes,
It
I
was
do
my.
not have that going on. I do have a
I'll
Christmas
expose this to the world. I don't use gel. My hair doesn't really do that. I use this texturizing powder, and it definitely it is if you ever leave any out on the table, quite the odd optic, and B, if you ever put it in your hair, it just kind of sends things everywhere. Continue, please.
Yes, of course. Alrighty, let's stay with basketball. Devin Booker hit a three-pointer with 0.7 seconds left to lift the Suns over the NBA best Thunder, 108-105.
I must be honest. I did not watch this one, but I did see the highlights last night. And look, the Thunder are 30-6. They are one of the most dominant teams in the NBA. And I'm a Spurs guy at heart, so I watched those games. They lost to San Antonio. Back-to-back games they've lost to San Antonio, 3 total on the season. That changing of the guard isn't there yet because the Spurs don't have the record of the Thunder this year. But a loss like this to Phoenix, the Suns, who are having a middling but okay season, they're still a playoff team. That kind of win, and I watched the highlights of the fourth quarter specifically, that kind of win and a fourth quarter where they were able to rally from being down at halftime, win the game on a last-second 3, just feels like this is the perfect mid-season pick-me-up for Booker and company. This is the kind of game, the kind of comeback that sends you on a win streak.
Let's go back to the NFL for a little bit. It was announced that the Falcons fired not only their coach, but also their general manager on Sunday night after 2 straight disappointing seasons.
Yeah. I live in Georgia. I've gotten to learn that Falcons fans are as passionate as they come, and Terry Fontenot's done. Raheem Morris is done, and I think the fan base rejoices this. A portion of it is because the Falcons finished 8-9 and were a game away. A portion of this is because we look back at how the Falcons failed to beat the Jets a few weeks ago, and had they beat the Jets, they would be a postseason team. You've got pieces. You've got Bijan Robinson, who was electric, who has been electric. That Rams game was incredible. And it hasn't become much. I mean, there's been very little development. And then you have to finish the season with Kirk Cousins. It's just been bad decision after bad decision. And Raheem Morris couldn't win in a year where I don't think Fontenot put him in a great position, but Morris still had to win. That's kind of the name of the game. Couldn't do it. And now Matt Ryan apparently is linked to at least helping this team hire a new head coach through the front office.
Speaking of teams who have a bad general manager, but a good head coach, Caleb Williams, he broke the Bears' single-season passing record in a loss to the Lions, though.
Yeah, man. Caleb Williams. I said it last Monday. I'm going to stick to this, by the way. I've been watching a lot of national television, and they're the guys that a week ago were saying, oh, Caleb Williams, the Bears are contenders, and they jump off that bandwagon. I try not to count a ton of what happens in week 17 or 18 with a few of these teams who are already like, hey, I'm good. Like, my playoff position is set. I'm more worried about the Packers here. I know you didn't ask about the Packers. More worried about the Packers than I am the Bears. Credit to Caleb Williams, though. The gripe has always been that the Bears don't have a 4,000-yard passer, and where's their 4,000-yard passer? They will certainly get one this year with a playoff game. Caleb Williams at 3,942 yards right now. Your 4,000-yard signal caller is in the pipeline and now completely piping. Nice. That's good. It's a great way to end the quickie right there. Your top 5 headlines today in sports. Thanks to Caleb Williams for his 4,000 yards and making Bears fans happy. As happy as that was, oh, you'll be happy if you're a Seahawks fan to know that I've got them winning the Super Bowl. But do I? Can I trust them this? Oh, it was the Drake Toll Show.
Imagine a sport.
She just caught the Jamestown ferry. It's not a hot day, January, like she said it'd be if she ever left me. A case of gone was all she carried as she got on the Jamestown ferry.
Oh, yeah, this is the problem. It needs to make changes to my device, so I cannot see text yet. That's still an issue.
I can't see the YouTube
Guys,
comments. That's a fun thing. We have Uncle
can't.
Sam.
Yeah, he's here.
Spencer?
Yes.
Yeah, plenty here.
Yes, to the crowd. Curtis is not here today. We have Laura with us, and she's killing it. Poindexter
Come back.
does not have an electric shed.
Electric shed. Addie, I just texted you as well.
I'm going to do something real quick. Hold on.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. College football kickoff on Amazon Fire TV. It's great. I had a guy text the Savannah Bananas manager. Yes, they have coaches and managers. Yes, they're trying to win. And he texted him, said, hey, Ryan Howard, by the way, Phillies legend Ryan Howard, is one of the coaches in Banana Ball. Come on. Text the coach and said, hey, hear this guy on the radio in Dallas. I've been listening to the fan. He's doing these sports minutes. And I couldn't figure out his name for the entire first week. I couldn't tell what he was saying. But he said he was with the Bananas, and so he texted his buddy, who's the manager of the team, and said, who is that guy? And so my response to that is Drake. D-R-A-K. A lot of times, the older crowd, I'll say Drake Toll. They'll say Greg, Drake, Greg, Drake, Jake. Nope. It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One. Westwood One Sports. I get it. I understand it. I see. It's a tough name. We'll get there. You know who else I think will get there? The Seattle Seahawks. They are the favorites to win the Super Bowl after earning that coveted number one seed in the NFC. And after they beat the 49ers on Saturday, they become the favorites to win it all at plus 370 per Las Vegas. The Rams, the next best odds at plus 450, as they, for a large portion of the year, had that seat. I trusted them up until the finish line. And then, watching the Rams, thought, they lost to Atlanta. Not good. And then from there, the Eagles plus 950, Jags plus 1,300, Chargers plus 2,800. The Steelers, they were at plus 10,000 yesterday morning. That's gone down a bit. I don't think anybody had confidence in Las Vegas they'd make the playoff, much less go to the Super Bowl. But the Seahawks have proven to me that this is not fool's gold, and that even though trusting Sam Darnold in the playoffs has gotten me in trouble in the past, even though the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, which is what I am doing right now from Sam Darnold, I believe that almost in spite of Sam Darnold, the Seattle Seahawks should be considered the biggest threat for the Super Bowl. And ultimately, if I had to choose today, they would win the Super Bowl. They've won 2 massive games in the last 3 weeks against the Rams and 49ers. The question you are going to ask, the question I am going to ask, is will it carry into the postseason? Sam Darnold, Remember, that guy who has 14 interceptions, 6 fumbles. He has turned the ball over 20 times by himself this season in 17 games. He is known when he can make the postseason. Like last year's playoff clunker is stuck in my brain. But the number 2 defense in America in EPA per play, that's an efficiency metric. The number 2 most efficient defense, number 1 DVOA, might just be good enough, elite enough to carry Sam Darnold to a Super Bowl. That staff, Mike McDonald, you sit down with Darnold, you say, just don't screw it up. Do what you do. Don't screw it up. Darnold has not thrown for 300 yards in weeks. His last really, really solid offensive output was against the Rams on December 18th in that overtime game where Seattle at home had to rally to win. I'm not going to fault them for rallying and winning because they rallied and won. 270 yards, 22 for 34 is not great. 2 interceptions help put them in that hole. They go to Carolina. They win 27-10. The defense is spectacular. They win 13-3 against San Francisco. The defense is spectacular. And once again, even after the lapse on the defensive side of the ball in the first half against the Rams, I'm no longer worried about the Seahawks. I'm back on the Seahawks train. You have the advantage of number 1. You have the advantage of your seeding. You will play likely LA in round 1. You'll get the Rams your first, I guess I should say, in your divisional round. You'll get the Rams. You just saw them. You saw them at home. You saw them at home and you broke their will toward the end of the game. You broke their will of where the Rams sit because immediately after that one, what did we see Los Angeles do? Go lose to Atlanta. From there, any myriad of teams. Will you see San Francisco? Will you see Philadelphia, Green Bay, Chicago? When I think about those teams, because remember, I've just seen Seattle beat both LA and San Francisco. When I think about Philly, when I think about Green Bay, I just don't see it right now. Philly's offensive woes. Green Bay's just tumultuous situation with whether or not LaFleur is the guy, and do we trust the offense? Then the Chicago Bears, I think, are the second most electric and impressive team in the NFC right now. And that can almost go unsaid because they're the 2 seed. It's Seattle, it's Chicago. And I'm going to go with the Mike McDonald defense to be my favorite out of the NFC. Then on the AFC side, it's just a hodgepodge of Denver, right? Denver, we know that brand, but this is the new look. New England, we know that brand. This is new look. This is not Peyton Manning. This is not Tom Brady. This is a reworked Denver from what it was 8-9 years ago. This is a reworked New England from what it was 6-7 years ago. Buffalo, 6th seed. That's the only other team in the mix that you say has been here for a while. That's one of the only teams, actually, in the mix that has been here for a while out of the AFC. You look at it and go, that's a lot of playoff experience on that roster. But those guys haven't been to the Super Bowl. I don't trust those guys. I don't know if I trust those guys to win in the postseason. Josh Allen to get it done in the postseason and get his team to a Super Bowl in a year where it's as wide open for him as it could be. But you are the 6th seed. You will have to continue to go on the road. You will stay on the road in this. I trust Seattle. I believe in Seattle right now. They are the best team in the NFL right now. And going into the postseason, momentum matters for me. 14-3 this season. Number 1 seed advantage. Elite defense. A refreshed defensive front. That's where it has started all year for them. And then offensively, if Sam Darnold isn't electric, if he's not elite, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Just get him the ball somehow. 1,800 yards in 2025. I would argue him to be the most dangerous or second most dangerous receiving threat right there with Puka Nacua in the NFC right now. And as much as I brought up the turnovers for Sam Darnold, this is the same guy who has now won 14 or more games in back-to-back seasons, the only QB not named Tom Brady to do that in NFL history. Two-headed running game, quarterback that can get it done when he's not turning the ball over, all-pro secondary, Cooper Kupp having this veteran presence of being like, hey, look, Sam, as long as you don't throw it to the other team, throw it to me or JSN, and we're going to be okay. Even special teams. It's like every facet of the game for Seattle has just worked. And worked. And this is, I guess you could also make the case for Seattle the same way I just did, mentioning how it's not your dad's Denver team. It's not your uncle's New England team. It's not Pete Carroll in Seattle. It's not Russell Wilson in Seattle. It is new look of what they were when they were dominating the NFC 10 years ago with the Legion of Boom. This is a different Seattle team, but I do not mind it because the defense is just so good. Because the defense has been, even the game they weren't good against Los Angeles, they won. They won. Addie Bates produces the Drake Toll Show. Addie, I asked you this question off the air. I'll ask you this question on the air. Is it a crazy person's take to say that I trust Seattle above anyone else going into the playoff?
If I'm Seattle right now in the number 1 seed, I am excited. I'm so excited that I either get to play the Carolina Panthers, who, newsflash, NFC South, not good. And if I don't play the Panthers, I get to play this Rams team, who has been struggling. Yes, of course, they beat the Cardinals, but if you don't beat the Cardinals, that's a bigger issue in and of itself. But they're not playing well. Whereas if you look at the other side, let's go to the Broncos for a second. I'm terrified. Yes, they've been playing well this whole season. They're the better team this whole season. But when you run into a buzzsaw of the Houston Texans right now, man, that's scary. It doesn't matter how you've been playing all season. Yeah, you can get Pittsburgh. That's okay. That's probably who you want to play. But if I'm Denver on the other side, I'm scared right there. Whereas if I'm Seattle, oh, man, I am excited to watch this Rams-Panthers game, which is probably going to be the worst matchup in all of the playoffs.
Yeah. It's what sucks is that Carolina's hosting this. It's very funny to me that on Saturday afternoon, the team from the West Coast has to fly across the country to play the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. And I am happy for Carolina fans. There are Panthers fans in my life. I live in Savannah, Georgia. We're not that far away. And each of them have this weird thought. I'm going to make this a bit personal. I try not to, but I'll make it personal. When the Texas Rangers made the World Series a few years ago and won the World Series against the Diamondbacks, even making the postseason that year felt weird. First time in 8 some odd years the Rangers had done so. And you're just kind of happy to be there, but also in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I missed the playoffs, but I think my favorite team sucks. So I don't really know if I should be that excited or get my hopes up. That's how I believe a lot of Carolina Panthers fans feel right now is I love my team. I'm glad that we're here. I don't really have any confidence that we'll beat Matthew Stafford and the Rams. That will be clunky. The uptick in turnovers for Stafford. I'm gonna go with Seattle in the NFC, no doubt. You mentioned a bit about the AFC. Do you see a team outside of Denver and Houston that you believe on the bottom side of the bracket that you believe could contend with what Seattle is doing right now?
With what Seattle is doing, give me the Patriots, honestly.
Okay.
Give me the Patriots. I think they're going to put up the best fight. As much as I would love to say the Bills, it's just the Bills in the playoffs. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it a million times. Jacksonville's also playing well, but I really love Drake May and this Patriots team, and they're playing the Chargers, who, hey, yeah, I mean, they're pretty good, but I still trust Drake May a lot more. So in the end, I'm hoping we're going to see Seahawks, Patriots.
Pretty good is one of the things to say about the Chargers. They exist. They're there. They're in the postseason. They made the playoffs. We'll see if it's sustainable. I don't know if it's going to be. Because remember, Addie, we love to complain that there is nothing. There is no team around Justin Herbert. It's just Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh, and that's it. Nobody else in LA. The rest of the team sucks. and that's why they're the 7 seed and not better after this year's regular season. We are just around the corner from my favorite part of the week. Crazy Boston sports fan is on the caller line at 310-840-4910. Crazy Boston sports fan is electrified by New England's chances, as Addie Bates just alluded to possibly make a Super Bowl run in 2026. Crazy Boston sports fan will be right there with you on the Drake Toll Show.
Your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl.
How great playing on Christmas Day is, how much of an honor it is. And yes, it is an honor to be considered one of the draws, the great draws that is in the NBA. When I say draws, I mean media attention, eyeballs. People wanting to see, people being interested in the particular team is great. To play on a day where everybody's watching, it's incredible. All of those things are great, but two things can be true at once. Playing on Christmas Day also sucks. And the reason it sucks is, number one, what I just said, it can affect your mood. Number two, we are human beings, and just like everyone else, enjoy Christmas Day with their families. That kind of gets messed up for us.
In talking to the YouTube and Twitter people, and you, Addie, and Laura, I've not had caffeine on this show since last Tuesday.
Just your chocolate water.
Just my Yoo-Hoo, yes, and my sugar-free Gatorade Zero.
I need you in the 8 o'clock hour for the first segment to hit that Robin Hood read.
Doof! I'll hit it right here. Since it's NFL.
He picked up in the first ring.
Wow, yeah, he did. That's my guy. We don't read that coming out of a segment?
No, you read it in segment. This segment's brought to you.
Nice.
You're listening. I'm sitting down with Crazy Boston sports fan, yada, yada, yada.
Hey, sound a little excited about it.
No, I'm just saying that's how you say it.
Okay, nice. I'll say it with a little more pep.
Mm-hmm. You're listening to
Nice.
The Drake Toll Show. Like that?
Yeah. This.
Okay.
My morning voice is multiple octaves below that. Just imagine if this is a midday show. If we were Black and Abdallah.
Are we not?
Touch yourself. You're Black and Abdallah.
Oh, was going to say it only took you like 34 minutes, I think, before you told people to touch themselves.
Yeah, that's going to become it. We should compile all the touch yourselves.
Have Curtis cut those up and have those as drops.
Yeah.
I get random texts from Curtis throughout the week when he wants to get my attention. I'll go, Kirch, or touch yourself.
Kirch from Rivers. If you mix Coach and Herm, it becomes Kirch.
Yeah, we had Herm Edwards on last week, Laura, and the first thing Drake goes is, Kirch! And I was like, oh.
My God. All right, come back.
We have re-entered the friendly confines of the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports. Drake Toll here from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. Oh, it's time for our crazy Boston sports fan. On a day where Pittsburgh gets the spotlight, on a day where somehow, someway, the Panthers are going to the playoffs, on a day where we could be talking about the 1 seed, the Seattle Seahawks, possibly winning the Super Bowl. It is time instead, which we have talked about those things, but now we give our spotlight, our Monday spotlight, to the crazy Boston sports fan, sponsored by Robinhood. As long as he does not curse, it is sponsored by Robinhood. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Crazy Boston sports fan, the bracket is out. The NFL postseason is set, and I'm not sure if I can buy the New England Patriots.
Hold on, before you get in with this BS, one sec here. Let me just do. Oh, no victory cigars yet. That's for the Super Bowl, but a little breakfast mob red just to celebrate the end of a beautiful regular season. A little 10-game turnaround. The New York Jets doing historically futile things. And the Pats sitting there at 14-3, the number 2 seed, the easiest matchup they could have gotten in the first round. I am feeling so good. Good luck, everybody else.
We see, at least at the Drake Toll Show, that the Seattle Seahawks have a leg up on probably everybody else with their chances to win the Super Bowl. Denver has shown over the course of the season it is not fool's gold. They're actually a very good team. I think that Chicago, the way the offense is playing in Chicago, they can make noise. For New England, there were people saying, crazy Boston sports fan, that they wanted to play the Patriots in the first round of the playoffs because they don't believe this team will stay as fortified in the AFC. What say you to that?
I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Come to Foxborough, F around, and find out. Man, I couldn't think of a better team to be playing first round than the LA, San Diego, whatever the heck charges. Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, thinks he's going to come in across the country and play some hypothetical game. This is going to be real. It's going to be 25 degrees out here if they're lucky. And this is going to be a Drake May masterclass. An MVP Drake May masterclass round 1. I am so unbothered. The only team I'd actually want to play more, to be totally honest with you, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, those two teams in the playoffs, there's just no way the Pats can lose. The Chargers lose playoff games when they're not even playing playoff games. And the Steelers could not beat the Patriots if their life depended on it in an important game. Could not do it.
Yeah. The path, Chargers, and then you'll probably get Buffalo or Jacksonville. The Buffalo Bills, we'll say, we'll play it out like this because it'd probably be if you're already smoking, it's not going to help you. Buffalo, New England, in Foxborough, divisional. There's no way New England escapes with a win, right?
escapes. This is our house. Of course we win. Yes. I wanted Buffalo. I tell you, I want Buffalo too. I would take Buffalo tomorrow. No problem.
That was quick, to the point, too. Crazy Boston sports fan.
What else do you want?
Yeah, I do want something you touched on, MVP Drake May. A lot of people are still calling for Matthew Stafford to be the guy who wins the award, and I agree with them. I just don't think it can be Drake May.
I tell you, you know what I know? You know what I knew Drake May won the MVP was yesterday in the Fox Sports cut-in when I see Matthew Stafford throwing that touchdown to Puka Nakulu, whatever his name is, and he's catching it with one hand. And I'm saying, look, just find me one guy on the Pats roster that can do that. One. And I'll give Matthew Stafford the MVP if you could find one Patriot that can make that catch. You know, he's working with plumbers and bootleggers and electricians and guys who are very nice.
Okay, if you say he's working with plumbers,
plumbers
and bootleggers, but he's playing against plumbers and bootleggers right now. The Patriots have one of the easiest strengths of schedule in the country compared to the Rams.
We seem to not care. Are you taking back Kurt Warner's MVP and that Super Bowl? That was the easiest schedule in NFL history. No, Kurt Warner's a Hall of Famer because of it. All right? Like, I'm sick of hearing about this. We can talk about who they play, but as soon as we talk about who they play with, it's discussion over.
I don't.
Like,
you don't have to take away anything from Kurt Warner.
Any given Sunday league.
Kurt Warner didn't have significantly worse stats than the rest of what we're talking about is Drake May having worse stats than Matthew Stafford against an easier schedule here, and Matthew Stafford having an electric at 37. You could say Drake May took the team from 4 wins.
He's got touchdown passes. That's great. And obviously that's a big deal. I'm not going to lie to you and say that's not a big deal. But Drake May with Kayshon Boutte and Pop Douglas is sitting there in a 10-game turnaround at 14-3.
What? Okay, what's more impressive, the 10-game turnaround or
take
37
off the Patriots, and what is their schedule? What is their record?
This is a 37-year-old quarterback.
Matthew Stafford away, they're winning 9-10 games.
37-year-old Matthew Stafford. Who's got the more impressive age?
I'm sorry that you guys didn't notice he was good before. The rest of us did.
And he's still good enough to be the NFL MVP. New England Patriots, crazy Boston sports fan. Before we pivot to the Bruins and the Boston Celtics, which I know you're very excited to talk about, to give us your daily taste, weekly taste, I should say, on all things Boston sports here on the Drake Toll Show. Tied up with a bow. The last thing before New England goes into their game this weekend that the world will hear from the crazy Boston sports fan prior to Patriots Chargers.
Good luck. Good luck to the only coach in the NFL with more rushing yards than Bo Jackson. Good luck. I'm just telling you. Across the country, Sunday night, 15 degrees is what I'm putting it at now. Maybe some light snowfall. I don't give a team from LA any chance.
The Boston Celtics, 22-12. Chicago Bulls will come to Boston tonight. Third of the Eastern Conference. Buy or sell the Celtics as an NBA championship caliber team.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, Drake. These brothers can win the East. I'm telling you. This Eastern Conference is wide open. And we're talking about Drake May for MVP. And I got to say, we might be talking about the wrong Boston athlete to win the MVP this year. Jaylen Brown, 50 points on 26 shots the other night in LA, in front of the wall. All right? He's out here. Should have been player of the month, 2-time player of the week in December. He's averaging over 30 a game. All right? He's carrying this team. This is supposed to be a tank year. Everyone was finally saying, oh, finally the Celtics are down. Celtics are down. It'll only be for a year, but maybe they'll trade Jaylen Brown. Maybe they'll get all this. They'll overthink it. Too bad. The Boston Celtics don't kneel for anybody. And here they are again. They probably should have tanked. And here they are, sitting in a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. And, like, I can't find a team that's that much better than them in the East. Not even these all-in Knicks. Celtics have a better net rating than the Knicks. The kids care about that now. All right? Yeah, I think they're an absolute player in the Eastern Conference. And as far as the Bulls are concerned, let me just quote the worst coach in our history. Michael Jordan is not walking through that door. Scottie Pippen is not walking through that door. Steve Kerr is not walking through that door. Yeah, Celtics are a real player in the East. They could win the East. They'll get Tatum back in April and they'll win the East. So big.
In the NHL, the Bruins over the Canucks. Do you want flowers for beating the Canucks, or can we move on from this?
Look, I put that as a top 5 win in the NHL this year. Fraser Minten going back home, Vancouver kid, absolutely fleeced the Leafs for that kid, and he scores the overtime winner. Top 5 win in the year in the league.
Thanks, Boston. Crazy Boston sports fan. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend with the Patriots and the Chargers.
I will.
I don't know how he got himself 10 minutes on the Drake Toll show, but Crazy Boston sports fan sure makes it worth it and gives you your weekly dose of all things Boston. I don't know if we can trust the Bruins. The Celtics, maybe. That Portland loss, despite how good Portland has been, by the way. Drake Toll watches the NBA. The host watches the NBA during the NFL season. Yeah, I do. I don't fault him entirely because Portland's been really good recently for little to no reason in my book. There's no staying power to that. But I won't completely call for a Celtics fallout due to their loss to Portland. And as far as Drake May and the MVP go, that's where I draw the line. That's where I think there's no way. That's where I think it's Matthew Stafford's award, despite, Drake May. 10-win turnaround. He's so young, so ripe. I'm not even a stats over storylines guy. Would have been last year. I do think that Lamar deserved it last year. And looking back in 5 years, I think the world will see. There will be a great reckoning where we realize Lamar statistically probably should have won it in 2024, but did not. And this year, I just don't want to see that happen again with Matthew Stafford, 250 more passing yards than Drake May, 12 more passing touchdowns than Drake May, the same number of interceptions as Drake May. Oh, but QBR and passer rating. I'm good. I'm not going to subscribe to this whole new school thing. QBR and passer rate, yards per game, yards per attempt. I'm okay. Some teams throw the ball more.
1 minute.
Should we sue? Because some teams throw the ball more. I'll give you Matthew Stafford, the 37-year-old Matthew Stafford, leading the whoa, he's got receivers. Toughest schedule in the NFL, one of the toughest schedules, the way it panned out in the NFL. I think it could also equate to a postseason run for Stafford and the Rams. Our idiot of the day is on the way. It is coming up right after this, as well as Jesse Holley, Mr. Fourth and Long, host of Unfiltered, will come on the show, talk all things Pittsburgh, Baltimore, the future of the Dallas Cowboys as well. And then before we let you go for your Monday, Music Monday, 5 songs producer Addie Bates has pieced together, and you guess the artist and the song. Can you guess it correctly? Call into the show. Get in on the action, 310-840-4910. Coming up after this break, get involved, 310-840-4910. The phone line is open right here with Westwood One Sports and the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Hold on, I haven't put you guys off.
Oh, sorry. Addie, permission to get another Yoo-hoo?
Oh, man. I mean, it's good for the brand. It's good for the brand. It's good for the brand.
I might. I have not had caffeine today. This is a crazy thing that's happening right now.
Why don't you get a coffee? Why don't we get a coffee? Why don't we... chocolate water.
Chocolate water, yes. A piece of it is I'll probably wrap the show, do some video editing on the back end to get some stuff up for micro content. And then I've got a flight today at like 3. So I may take a nap.
7-hour nap like Friday?
No 7-hour nap today. I got to fly to Dallas to do college football kickoff. So I'm hotel rooming tomorrow. Wi-Fi, come on.
Oh, gosh. Are you staying at a Citizens M?
I'm staying at, I wanted to say walking distance of WFAA. And so I'm staying at, I think like a unmuted. And in conclusion, that is the hotel I'm staying in. If anyone wants to come see me, room 723.
So if anybody wanted to hear,
that's great. I actually need to go to my Expedia. No free ads, but I do. I've been using Expedia recently and figure out what hotel I'm in. You know what? I can do a Diet Coke. That's not too much caffeine.
Diet Coke.
Is it?
No, but it's a Diet Coke.
Yeah. I love Diet Coke. Diet Coke and Yoo-Hoo? Ugh.
You do like that. Yeah, the only soda I like is Dr. Pepper.
Question for you. This will go out to the world too. I've known Jesse for a while now, for a good bit now. I've never asked him on the air about his experience with winning the 4th and long thing. Have you heard that whole story?
Mm-hmm.
No. Is it commonplace? Like, should I ask him about it? Because more importantly than that, like he's a scratch, like really good NFL analyst. I may sprinkle it in there at the end.
You should actually. Yes, you should. That'd be funny.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute 30 seconds.
Minute 30, all right.
Baby.
It's good and nice. Dr. Pepper just fumbled by not doing that, by not including that as a promo.
So good. Drake told you got a caller.
What?
The broadcast will begin in 1 minute.
Got a caller?
Okay, what do they want to talk about?
I think it's our buddy. I think it's actually our friend.
Oh, nice.
Long time listener.
I'll have to remember that. From Humble, Texas. What's the name on that?
David. Isn't that him?
I don't know. Where is David from?
Texas.
David from Texas. Okay.
That could be.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Figured out.
Interesting. I have a father named David from Texas. Not a big Houston, Texas fan.
Yeah, what does David want to talk about? Texans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people, rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people dancing on the people. I got people on the people dancing on the people with the people on the people, smoking CO2, see me, see you, dancing on the people, climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people, my head hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the people, dancing on the people. I got purple hat, cheetah print, dancing on the people, rolled up at the after joint, dancing on the people dancing on the people. I got people on the people dancing on the people with the people on the people, smoking CO2, see me, see you, dancing on the people, climb up on the booth, hanging from the people on the people, my head hits the roof, dancing on the ceiling on the people. I got people on the dancing on the people. I got people.
Welcome back to the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you, live from Savannah, Georgia. With the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, Fire TV's college football kickoff on Amazon Fire TV. And what a day it is in the National Football League. What a day it is to be on Westwood One Sports. You, yes, you, sentient being wherever you sit, taking the kids to school, sitting in your office, lounging in the bathroom. 310-480-4910, 310-480-4910. 310-840-4910. Get in on the action. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. We have David from Texas. David, what's going on?
Hello, Mr. Drake Cole, Mr. Banana Man. I love bananas in my cereal. How you doing, buddy?
I am fantastic, David. How are you?
I'm fantastic, too, man. I am a big, huge Houston Texans fan down in Houston here. I am so excited about my football team. I am so excited. And you know why? I watched that game last night, and about 70% of the Houston Texans fans were rooting for the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. Do you believe me?
Yeah, I got you.
Because 30% of the Houston Texans fans was thinking that Baltimore was going to win, and they were shaking off their boots. They were just scared to death. But I am a Houston Texans fan with plenty of optimism. Plenty of optimism. We have a Super Bowl caliber defense, Mr. Toll. Do you know what that means?
I'm a Cowboys fan at heart, David. I do not know what a Super Bowl caliber defense is.
Well, a Super Bowl caliber defense is a defense that wins championships. Defense wins championships. And when you have a Super Bowl defense, a Super Bowl caliber defense, like the Houston Texans have, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're going to the Super Bowl. I don't care if the NFL Nation has Drake May. I don't care if the Denver Broncos have their, quote, Orange Crush defense in the past. The Orange Crush defense in Denver is old. I don't care even if the Jacksonville Jaguars have the long-haired, women-loving Trevor Lawrence at quarterback.
It does love women.
As their quarterback. The Houston Texans are going to be in the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl, and they win. They're going to win everything.
All right. Thank you for David in Texas for the call again on the Drake Toll Show. Let's break down what he said. We're close to our Idiot of the Day segment, and David is not on the Idiot of the Day segment. This is one of the league's best defenses and number one in the league in total defense, only allowing 272 yards per game, 16.5 points per game. The Houston Texans can win Super Bowl LX. Let's go to Super Bowl 60. Will Anderson Jr., C.J. Stroud's efficiency. His numbers are not going to blow you away in the pure passing game. 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns. But he's one of the most elite passers when it comes to passer rating. And Stroud, despite missing portions of the year, there are teams that are like, oh, we missed our quarterback. We're the Colts. We missed our quarterback. Despite teams that said, oh, we missed our quarterback, and without our quarterback, we can't win. That wasn't the Texans this year. The Texans won with defense. They said, hey, we can still, without C.J. Stroud for 4 games, we can still be a Super Bowl caliber team because of the defensive side of the ball. Now, I haven't forgotten when they lost to Denver. I haven't forgotten when they lost to Seattle. And Denver still looms in the AFC, no doubt. But since then, they've beaten Buffalo. Since then, they've gone on the road to win against Kansas City, doubled up Kansas City in early December. Since then, they've gone on the road and beaten the Chargers, another playoff team. They've beaten Jacksonville in a game where the defense lapsed. Davis Mills put up nearly 300 passing yards. I'll do it. For David in Texas and for him calling in, I'll buy on the Texans being a Super Bowl caliber team. And you heard it from Crazy Boston Sports Fan earlier. The Texans are a team that everybody likes to talk about because their defense is so good. And that's the one team that if you're a Crazy Boston Sports fan, you probably don't want to see. That's the team that you do not want to see right now if you're the Denver Broncos or the Pittsburgh Steelers, who will host the Houston Texans. Host a Houston Texans team that has not lost since November 2nd. November 2nd. Producer of the Drake Toll Show, Addie Bates. Do you buy or sell the Houston Texans?
Hey, I said it earlier. I think they're a buzzsaw right now. What they remind me of, and I'm going to go to baseball for a second here, is they remind me of the 2019 Washington Nationals.
And everyone in America is going to instantly get that reference, 2019 Washington Nationals.
Yeah, I hope they do, but that's what this team reminds me of. Yeah, they didn't start great, but man, they're really good right now. Like, I don't want to play them. If I'm the Broncos, I don't want to play them. Are they a Super Bowl caliber team? No, I don't see it that way. I think they're a really good team, but I just think they're a tier below Super Bowl caliber.
Yeah. Lost the Rams, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville to start the year, then said, just kidding. Oh, what, you think 2 and 4 we're going to miss the playoffs? 3 and 5 will miss the playoffs? They do not. And from, like, down to Kai Fairbairn, like to Woody Marks, Jaden Higgins, rookie impact, kicking special teams, no fly zone, Jalen Petrie on the defense, C.J. Stroud's efficiency. This is a very good Texans team. We could buy them. It's time, though, to get to my favorite segment every day. It is our Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
I am not always a fan, a pure subscriber to NFL organizations firing their head coach after one season. Typically, I want the window to be a little bit more open, a little bit wider. Typically in college football, I'm looking for 3 years minimum for a guy unless the bottom absolutely falls out. The NFL, unless the bottom absolutely falls out. Unless you are giving me answers at the podium that are not conducive with being a head coach in the National Football League. And today, our Idiot of the Day, we start with the entire Jets organization. It's more than just one idiot. That's a pretty big portion here for keeping Aaron Glenn. Here's what Aaron Glenn had to say about field goals a week ago.
Just that, even on some of the small detail things that people really don't look at, and that's on our field goal block, the field goal team. Last year we had 3 blocks in our field goal. This year, I mean, we had no blocks, and we were at about 98%. So, as far as field goal, so those are some things that there was a huge emphasis from the very beginning.
Oh my gosh! The New York Jets head coach, fresh off of a 3-14 season, quarterbacked by Brady Cook, the Missouri legend, comes to the podium and it's like, hey guys, I know it hasn't been that good, but teams aren't blocking our field goals. And last year, teams were blocking our field goals. If you open your eyes, for those who have the eyes to see, and see this, the opposition can't block our field goals. it is crazy to me. I said I don't like NFL head coaches being fired after a year usually. Give them some time to settle in. Give them some time to make it make sense for the organization to keep the guy and give him stability. But the dude who comes to the podium with a historically bad team, might I add, from efficiency to stats, historically bad team. Like, hey, I get it. It's been bad. But didn't you see? Nobody blocked our field goal today. No interceptions for the Jets this year. Borderline impossible to do. Should have never happened. Was almost, if you had bet $100 game one that the Jets will not log an interception and you compounded that bet over the course of the year, you've made over $10 million this year. $10 million. But they're really good at not allowing their field goals to be blocked. Our next, I've delayed the whole show to get to this. Our next idiot of the day would be the Indianapolis Colts organization. From the Jets to the Colts. And the reason I'm putting the Colts in this category is for signing Phillip Rivers. And it hurts. But I said this last week. I'm going to say it again. Old Yeller dies. When you turn on Marley and Me, the dog dies. When you get old, you realize life just sucks sometimes and the ending isn't always going to change. The sad movie's going to be the same. And that's what this feels like, saying that the Phillip Rivers move was the incorrect one to make. But I'm looking, I mentioned earlier, Davis Mills with Houston, Tyler Huntley performing well for Baltimore. Like, there's a way to bring in a backup quarterback. There's a way to bring in a quarterback that can compete for you to go to the postseason. And the Colts this year had at 8-2, the ultimate head start to get there. And yes, on the road against Kansas City, at home against Houston, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, against San Francisco, against Jacksonville, against Houston on the road, at Baltimore, Green Bay, and then Cincinnati, or I guess Jacksonville, and then at Houston. Those are tough. I get it. I get it. It's a tough stretch. 8-2, and then you got to go on the road to Kansas City, or on the road at Seattle, or on the road at Houston. But Phillip Rivers wasn't going to put you in a position to win. Phillip Rivers wasn't going to do that. And your defense, I know the defense was the real lapse for the Colts. No doubt. I won't deny that. But I watched Riley Leonard play. Really solid start. And he didn't finish as well as he began the game against the Texans this week. But he went 21 for 34, 270 yards, a couple touchdowns, and a pick. Rivers wasn't bad, but was he the guy that was going to win you the game? Did you have the replacement that was going to win you the game? The answer is no. Yet the Colts still decided to do it. Sign them up, idiot of the day, Indianapolis Colts, for bringing in Phillip Rivers when they knew he probably could not compete to win. He probably couldn't make them a Super Bowl caliber. And I know that's not what they're looking for, but at 8-2, I'm hearing from Colts fans. Jonathan in Louisville, Kentucky, is calling me every day saying, I think the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. The nucleus is there. The roster is there. And I'm also not trying to insinuate they're one quarterback away, but they were a better quarterback away. They were a guy who's been playing in the NFL away. Great PR. Phillip Rivers is great PR. But was he the guy to win you games? I don't think so. Idiot of the day, Baltimore Ravens. This is kind of a low blow, but I'm going to put it in there. Baltimore Ravens for not doing this. The Pittsburgh Steelers reportedly had a priest bless the field with holy water pregame. And in the exact same end zone that the priest blessed the field with holy water, the Ravens missed a field goal. Tyler Loop went wide right. in the same end zone, the priest blessed the field. Idiots of the day, the Baltimore Ravens, for not getting their own equally powerful priest and having that guy bless the field. Idiots of the day include the Giants for winning a football game, the Bills for having Josh Allen. How cheese is this? Just to extend his start streak. This never happened with Eli Manning, but it does for Josh Allen. The Bills waltz him out there. Go take the first snap, do nothing, walk off the field. Why? Well, we extended his start streak. He started another game for us. Sam Levitt deciding to enter the transfer portal, NFL prospect from Arizona State, and he lands at Kentucky. Shedeur Sanders, a 12 QBR, the worst single-season QBR in Browns history. You know how long it would take for me to find the worst quarterback in Browns history? And Shedeur Sanders is lobbying for it? I'll expound more on Sam Levitt as an idiot of the day, the Giants as idiots of the day, the Bills as idiots of the day, and also Shedeur Sanders tomorrow on the Drake Toll Show. Those are your idiots for today. The main stars of the show being Aaron Glenn and the Jets, the Colts with Phillip Rivers, and the Ravens for not having an equally powerful priest. Up next, Jesse Holley, Mr. Fourth and Long, the Dallas Cowboys legend, will come on the show and tell you why the Cowboys should have hope this offseason and why, after winning last night, the Steelers could be a threat. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Westwood Wood. We love sport.
But Josh also has, now I'm opening it up for YouTube. Josh also has one of those ratty white dogs. Just
the fact you said it like that.
My least favorite kind of dog with the crusty eyes. Look at it. The dog is
Josh.
begging for help. Josh and I talked a ton this weekend too. I say a ton, a bit, and it was awesome. I'm a fan of the Josh Graham show.
Oh, he's the homie. I love him.
Why did Derrick Henry only get 5 carries in the last 5 drives?
Is there a punchline to it?
No, he only got 5 carries the last 5 drives.
No, I know. Because there's, I mean, the reason hopefully is not going to be there next year.
Yeah. True. We're gonna make a change for once in my life. All right, we got Jesse here.
Oh, Laura. 1 second.
Oh.
Sorry, Laura. Oopsie. There you go, Laura. There's the number. That's on me.
Will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
You got time, no worries.
Who hired me? Da-da-da.
I love sports radio because it's just one day you don't have Bob Costas' number, and the next day you're like, huh, Bob Costas' phone number.
Me with Vince Young. I was like, oh, I know that guy from TV.
Vince Young almost hosted college football kickoff. Jesse actually filled that chair. Oh, that's the show that I do with Amazon. Sorry. The very popular show that everyone's listened to.
Oh, I'm a big fan. I listen every week.
Yep. Fire TV's college football kickoff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds.
That priest, man, he blessed that end zone. That's crazy.
Jesse is there.
Nice.
Beautiful. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute.
Un minuto.
Nice.
Love it. If it isn't love.
Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Okay, it was 30 seconds.
Stay on my mind. If it isn't love.
All right, bring you guys back.
To the brain.
We're back on the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. From Locked On Big 12, the Savannah Bananas organization, and Amazon Fire TV's college football kickoff. That's where this man comes from. Jesse Holley. This guy knows a whole lot about the NBA, college basketball, college football, and he himself, former North Carolina Tar Heel and Dallas Cowboy, the expert on all things NFL. Jesse, number one, first and foremost, we have the host of Unfiltered with Jesse Holley on the show. Thanks for joining. Number two, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, a missed kick in a 2-point game sends the Steelers to the postseason.
First and foremost, happy New Year to everyone, and Drake, congratulations on your show, man. I'm excited to be on, and I know that you're going to continue to do great things, man. But yeah, what a game, right? Like, that is the football league, especially this year. League this year.
Oh, he's dropping out.
Things that you hear people jokingly, but jokingly, but a lot seriously talk about the kicker. We're like, yeah, they're on the team, but we don't really consider them like football players, just because it's moments like these where both of the kickers last night in that game, one missed an extra point, and then the other missed basically a chip-shot field goal to take their team to the playoffs. And so, man, the last thing that you want to do is have to fight through an entire football game like that, and then put it in the hands of the kicker, and he has one job to do, just kick the little oblong football through the two arches in the middle of the football field, and didn't get it done. And now the Baltimore Ravens will spend this entire offseason trying to figure out what went wrong, how can they fix it when they actually should be in the playoffs.
Jesse, you've mentioned, we've talked about this, your first games as a freshman at North Carolina or your early games as a rookie, your first experience with the Dallas Cowboys. So let's start the conversation about Tyler Loop and the kicker for the Baltimore Ravens like this. How different are you as a freshman walking into a new level of football? That's point number one. And then what I want to go to from there is, how different are you week one of your freshman or rookie season compared to week 18 for Tyler Loop?
Oh, I mean, of course, when you first walk in there, you're wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you're looking around and you're saying, "Oh my God, this thing is the speed is so fast, the game is moving so fast." And I experienced that my freshman year in college and my rookie year in the league. You're looking around and you're saying, "Wait a second, this guy, 200 and what pounds, 300 pounds, and they're moving like this and they're moving like that." And so that can kind of get to you. But then once you settle in and you kind of determine that you get our first hit and you realize that I actually do belong in this league. I can play along with these these other great athletes. You just fit right in, and then you find your niche. What am I really good at? What am I not so good at? And then throughout the year, you try to improve on those things, and you try to strengthen those things that are weaknesses, and those things that are strengths. You try to make sure that you situate those into your game. But as far as a kicker, the mechanics doesn't change, right? It's the same thing every single time, whether it's from 20 or 30 or 40 yards. It's pretty much the same. Weather conditions, will probably play a factor in certain things, but it's different from being a quarterback or a receiver or a running back or a linebacker or a DB from week 1 to week 18 because you're seeing so many different variables throughout the game. You may, for a receiver, I might see one week where I'm playing against a team that's blitz heavy. Next week I might go against an all-pro. The next week I might go against a team that plays, shell coverage. And the next week I might go against a team that plays more man coverage. There's a tall corner, there's a short corner, there's an aggressive corner, there's a lackadaisical corner. So, those variables change. But as far as kicking the ball, those things pretty much stay the same. Like I said, weather may be a factor, but it doesn't change in that. But you learn from this, and some people get better from this, and some people this may be that thing that he never gets over. But it was interesting last night on the broadcast. Tirico said, as the Baltimore Ravens were going around looking for a pitcher after they lost coverage to this situation, they said this is the guy they said was built for moments like this. And I don't know if you're really built for moments like this until you actually are facing a moment like that. Season on the line, the ball is in your court, you're on the road, the crowd is loud, it's cold, the team needs you, and you just kind of push a kick right from 38, 40 yards, which is now, in NFL football today, for the kicker, that's a chip job.
He's Jesse Holley, joining the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports, the Dallas Cowboys legend. Jesse, we made the case earlier, the Seattle Seahawks are the most dangerous team in the NFL this postseason. They are the Super Bowl favorite per Las Vegas. I agree with that sentiment. We've seen them beat the Rams and the San Francisco 49ers in the last 3 weeks. I also believe the Houston Texans defense, we mentioned that defense, as good as they've been, could be the best lower-seeded team out of the AFC or NFC in this race for the Super Bowl. Who do you think is the most dangerous team in the National Football League as it sits January 5th?
For me, Seattle has done a fantastic job defensively, right? They are ferocious, and the way that Mike Tomlin has that defense rolling. And Sam Darnold is, he's a really good quarterback. Sam Darnold has those moments in time where, he can have a brain fart and not be what you need him to be. We've seen that throughout his entire career. Same thing goes for Washington. That defense travels, right? They're aggressive. They pressure you. They turn you over. But C.J. Stroud, another guy, when the moments need him to be at his best, at times he can falter. And that's why, for me, for Jesse Holley, the most dangerous team in this league is a team who's already won the championship, who has a veteran quarterback, who to me has one of the best play calling offensive coordinators in the league, and that's the Los Angeles Rams. That team can definitely beat you in multiple ways. They can score points with you. They can play good defense. Matthew Stafford is one of those guys where in that moment, because defense helps you get the championships, but you need to score one more point than the other team. And Matthew Stafford he's that kind of guy who, talking about the kicker from Baltimore, he's the guy who's been battle tested. He's been in those moments. He had to go down there and make that throw, to make that drive, to make that play at the line of scrimmage, to call the right play, to call the right coverage. And for me, it's still the LA Rams right now, the most dangerous team because of the quarterback, of the play caller, and their defense is just as ferocious as the Texans and Seattle.
Jesse, there'll be Brian will say in Shreveport, Louisiana, driving in his car thinking, well, if we're talking about Super Bowl quarterbacks, Super Bowl coaches, the Philadelphia Eagles will come to mind as a team that has been there. Is the reason you put the Rams above the Eagles this postseason because of Patullo and the offensive coordinator conversation? Because it seems like Philly's offense and even the perceived infighting that has come out during press conferences has put the Eagles down a few notches for me.
Yeah, and honestly, it has. And the way this offense has operated this year for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts just isn't a quarterback. I know he's made some really big plays in the playoffs, but, that defense doesn't seem like it's as dominant as it once was. The offense has sputtered multiple times throughout this season. A lot of people don't trust that the Philadelphia Eagles can put together another run because of the level of inconsistency they have on both sides of the ball. It seems like it's some in-house bickering and fighting, and who should get the lion's share of whether it should be the run game or the passing game. And it seems like when they go to the receivers, A.J. Brown and stuff like that, he has big games. They don't win games. So it's like they don't understand the formula of what they need to put together to win. Is it running the ball? Is it Jalen Hurts being a runner? Is it Lamar being the dominant back offense? Is it getting the ball to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? Or are they going to lean on the defense to come up with plays and to win football games for them? And when you have that many variables in how you're picking to win a team or for your team to win, I think that is where you can kind of find yourself in that situation in the playoffs where you don't know where to go with it, and when you don't have an answer to where to go, and that's when you falter in the moments when you need the most.
Jesse Holley joining the Drake Toll Show from Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. And the Dallas Cowboys, a team we brought up a couple times today, their offseason, their future is always in the spotlight no matter what. And last year, head coaching changes across the organization, in the defense was historically bad. The worst maybe in Cowboys history from an analytics standpoint. What has to not what has to happen. What are we going to see the Cowboys and Jerry Jones do in the next 6 months?
Boy, man, if that was an answer, that was a question that I had an answer to, Rick, I would be rich. I would be filthy, stinking rich because no one knows. It's been 30 years of the same question of what are we going to do with this offseason? And the one thing that has been consistent, that has been a constant for the Cowboys through all of the coaches and all of the plays and all of the everything that has happened is the guy that's running the football team, and that's Jerry Jones. And that's, I cover this team here locally in Dallas-Fort Worth, and I've been a part of this team. I'm around them every single day. And that's the one thing that we all consider as a constant is Jerry Jones building teams in the offseason as a general manager. As a president, as an owner, he's fantastic, right? He has the most valuable franchise in all the sports in the world. But when it comes to the team building, and that means picking coaches, and that means picking players, there has been a head scratcher for 30 years. So we go into this offseason, and just last night, most people are calling for the job of Matt Eberflus, and rightfully so. I mean, there's arguments on both sides of why he should go, why he should stay. But even last night, after the game, Jerry comes out and says, "Oh, well, I'm going to take 10 to 12 days to think about this." Well, what are you thinking about? Either you know or you don't know, right? You've had an entire season to watch this defense do what it does, or lack thereof. And this defense has given up 500 points, the most points it's given up in the Cowboys' history, right? And so it's been historically bad. And if the decision is to bring Matt Eberflus back, then you need to go out there and not shop in the bargain bin like you've done for the last couple of years. Even last year, trying to chase those former traits, guys like Kyer Elam and Kenneth Murray, and you trade for a guy like Logan Wilson, who was benched on the other worst defense in the National Football League in the Bengals. And when he comes over here, and they wonder why he didn't be successful. Well, if you got benched over there, what you think he would come over here and chase helmets and be a much better player? You got a good player in Quentin Williams. You traded away one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League, and then to only in return get the trade in Timmy Clark, who comes in and he said he's the guy. Well, again, to only trade a couple of weeks later, go back and get the guy to replace the guy in Timmy Clark with Quentin Williams. So this defense has so many holes in it, man. You need defenders. Trayvon Diggs is gone. Deron Bland is hurt. You don't know what you're going to have at your linebacking core. You know that you got, like I said, some defensive tackles. But again, the 33-year-old Jadeveon Clowney, who was a mercenary, going on league time in 1 year deal, he led your team in sacks. And he didn't get here to week 2. He was signed in week 2, and he didn't play full-time starters or full-time reps about week 6 or 7, and he leads your team in sacks. That can't be the case that a 33-year-old journeyman, former first-round pick, I get that part, but the guy who's on the tail end of his career has come in and led your team in sacks this year. With so many questions on this football team, is it the players? It's the combination of both. And I guess, for me, there has to be some culpability on the guys who are actually on the field to cover, to tackle, to have a final alignment style football, and to do the things that they're called to do, but it's also, on the shoulders of coaches to get them, to get the players to play up their potential. So it's a mess. It is a mess defensively for the Cowboys. And this offseason, I don't know if Jerry's going to do something different. He has done the same thing for 30 years. He's very cheap when it comes to free agency. He banks a lot on these draft picks coming in and being started and contributing right away. And that necessarily isn't always the case. But there's a lot of holes that need to be filled on this Cowboys roster with not a lot of options to do. So they have to come up with something, and hopefully Jerry changes his ways. But at 30 years of evidence, that says otherwise.
He's the Cowboys legend, Jesse Holley, host of Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. Find him at Mr. Fourth and Long across social media. And if you're in Dallas or a Cowboys fan, A, you know the name. B, you hear him every day through multiple different avenues, talking Cowboys, NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, and everything, just as electric an analyst as he is a player. Jesse, thanks for joining the Drake Toll Show.
Absolutely, Drake, man. Thank you. I'll be back anytime, man.
Yep. Happy New Year to you as well, Jesse, and to those listening as we get into 2026, the NFL playoff here. And the conversation today has been dominated by Pittsburgh, Baltimore, the Steelers in the playoffs. Here are the final thoughts on why the Steelers can, or really, really can't, make a run in the postseason this year in the NFL. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Your home for the NFL playoffs.
Starting off the softball, huh?
Yeah, and I guess technically maybe they get progressively more difficult, but I think they're all very easy.
Nice. I really liked Jesse, by the way.
Oh, he's awesome. I like that.
Really like him. His energy is incredible.
Where is Dogsy Toll?
Oh, Bear?
Bear.
Bear's inside the house. He's not in the electric shed.
Sounds like a punishment, on death row.
The death roll.
Sorry. Hey, no. Toll, dog, row. A lot of words. When I start working from home, I think Sinatra's going to make an appearance.
Will begin in 30 seconds.
Nice. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Ready to do it.
I got a sweet little baddie and she's rolling in the caddy with me. I got a sweet little baddie.
It is the Drake Toll Show. West Coast, East Coast, all across the country. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports. Oh, the Panthers. Did you watch this game? Did you watch the Panthers game on Saturday? I couldn't help but think continually, why is the officiating crew trying to make sure the Panthers lose? It's what it felt like. I don't want to dilute what the Buccaneers did. I don't want to dilute that they are now going to sit at home despite their win. I don't want to dilute how hard that must be. But, it stung. It felt weird seeing the Panthers lose. Maybe they deserve to lose. But with the officials having such an arm in this. John Harbaugh, will he still be the head coach in Baltimore next year? The Dallas Cowboys, what kind of changes are they going to make? The Pittsburgh Steelers, could they actually make a run in the postseason toward a Super Bowl? And the 49ers Seahawks game tells me that Seattle is the most dangerous team going into the postseason. New look Seattle. There are brands think about this. 10 years ago, if I told you, hey, the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Seahawks are all in the playoffs. But yeah, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. That makes sense. This is a new look for all three of those organizations. They're each back in the postseason, and this feels right. There is a changing of the guard in the National Football League where you don't have Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson in the postseason this year. You do have Josh Allen, but he doesn't get a bye. He has to go on the road in the playoffs. This feels different. We got that consistent stuff. We had the Saints every year in there. We had the Packers and Aaron Rodgers in there. Brady and the Patriots. Manning with the Broncos or the Colts. It's like we had these same names over and over, and those names are gone now, aside from Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This year does not have that same moxie of, hey, the NFL has 12 to 14 elite quarterbacks that will throw for 4,000, 4,500, 5,000 yards. We don't have that in 2026. What we have is comparative chaos. What we have is this odd resurgence of Trevor Lawrence. Oh, Trevor Lawrence is back, but this team looks different than the last time Jacksonville made the playoffs. And they're going to host Buffalo. Oh, the Chargers are here. But remember, I was told they have nothing around Justin Herbert. They have no infrastructure there. Oh, Houston, the Texans, they're here. C.J. Stroud is here. And even when Stroud was hurt, they could still win. The Carolina Panthers in the postseason. The LA Rams have become kind of that stalwart with Stafford there to go to the playoffs. San Francisco, and Philadelphia are two of those teams that don't really count in this new blood. They've been here vying for a title the last couple of seasons. Philadelphia winning one last February. But one of them will be knocked out in the wild card. Like Green Bay and Chicago. In Chicago. Oh, love it. Is LaFleur's job on the line based on the outcome of that game? But all of those pale in comparison to what we got last night between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. And it was a back and forth game despite the Ravens having a 10-point lead. We'll take you to the fourth quarter on Westwood One. Ryan Radke for Baltimore to go ahead with 2:20 to go.
Third down and inches. Jackson in the gun, gets the snap, fakes the toss, back to pass, looking, going deep down the field. Flowers wide open at the 30, to the 20, to the 15, the 10, the 5, end zone. Touchdown Ravens. Zay Flowers goes the distance, and the Ravens are back in front. They faked the toss, and Zay Flowers was wide open. It's a 64-yard touchdown, and the Ravens have a 23-20 lead with 2:20 to go.
Yeah, deflated. Less than 2.5 minutes to go, deflated at Acrisure. And you think, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers still has it, man. I'm not so sure Aaron Rodgers can go pull this off with less than 2.5 minutes to. We've got some timeouts in the chamber here, but man, it's going to be tough for old man Rodgers. Going to need him to lock in, and that is exactly what Aaron Rodgers did on this play.
Ravens 24, Steelers 20. Winner goes to the playoffs. Loser goes home. Trips right, single man left. Rodgers gets the snap. He's back to pass. Looking left, going deep left. Man wide open, it's caught. Touchdown Pittsburgh. Touchdown Steelers. Calvin Austin wide open down the left side. A 26-yard touchdown. And with 55 seconds to go, Pittsburgh has taken the lead. 26-24 Steelers. And that may be a division-clinching touchdown. Calvin Austin wide open down the left side, and Rodgers hit him in stride.
Only problem with that 26-24 lead for Pittsburgh is there's still about a minute to go. Lamar Jackson is Baltimore's quarterback. And Chris Boswell missed the extra point. Oh, not good. Immediately, the kickoff returns taken back to the 45, which in the NFL in 2026, you need like 10 yards from there to the opposing 45 to be within field goal range. At least you would think that with an NFL caliber, well, he's a rookie. With an NFL caliber kicker, you would think that we're going to see a walk-off field goal from Tyler Loop, and Baltimore is going to stun Pittsburgh on Pittsburgh's turf. Despite being the team up 10-0, Pittsburgh came back, and now Baltimore, it's their chance to pry this away from the division rival, to go to the postseason, and Loop does this.
He has not missed from inside 50 yards. This will be a 44-yard attempt. It will come from the middle of the field. It's for the division. Loop is ready. Here's the snap, the spot. The kick is on the way. It is no good. He missed it. It's wide to the right, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have won the division. The Steelers are going to the playoffs. Tyler Loop missed it wide right, and the Steelers have won the game 26-24. Pittsburgh wins the AFC North. They will go to the playoffs.
And that is maybe as loud as that stadium has been in years. Pittsburgh to host Houston. And before I went to the break, I told you I'd give you the answer on whether or not the Steelers can be a true contender, can make some noise in the playoffs. And the answer is no, absolutely not. The Houston defense is way too good. The Houston Texans, way too good. They have the win streak will not halt at Pittsburgh. This is the same Texans team that has been on fire late in the year, and their rally against the Colts just showed me they want to win, and it doesn't have to just be C.J. Stroud. Their defense is so good. Even when the defense isn't good, the offense is put together enough to win 38-30 against Indianapolis, and they'll win again against Pittsburgh on the road. Eddie Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show. It's time for Music Monday.
So we're going to start off pretty easy, in my opinion, and it's going to progressively get more difficult.
Okay, good. Laura Jimenez from Culver City, California. What's song number 1?
I never would have guessed it in 100 years or more.
Okay. Laura, can I hear that?
Never would have guessed it in 100 years or more. Chewing on a piece of grass.
Okay. What's
Madman drums, rollers, Indians in the summer with the teenage diplomat.
Oh no. These are good, Addie. These are good. Laura, can I hear the beach one more time, please?
Which one?
Oh, which one? Which one? Okay, 1 through 5, rapid fire.
I never would have guessed it in 100 years or more. Chewing on a piece of grass. Madman drums, rollers, Indians in the summer with the teenage diplomat. I pulled into Nazareth, what's the feeling about that last day?
Oh my gosh. All right.
How are we feeling?
Addie, I feel really good about Charles Wesley Godwin as song number 1.
What song is it?
Oh my goodness. It was in my top 10
He was one of
in 2025.
Yes, he was. And this was one of your most listened to songs.
Yes, it was. Maybe number 1.
Strawberry Queen.
Strawberry Queen. Wow. Charles Wesley Godwin. Okay. Song number 2 is by America. What's the song?
Do you know the song?
No, what's the song?
Ventura Highway.
Ventura Highway. Blinded by the Light. Manfred Mann.
1 minute. 1 minute.
How did you get that one, but not Ventura Highway?
Or Strawberry Queen. That was in my top 10, I think, this year. That's crazy.
Okay, so that one's correct, yes.
Blinded by the Light, Manfred Mann, and his Earth Band? Something like that.
Yes, and it's a Bruce Springsteen cover.
Wow. Poison, Belle Biv DeVoe. Come on, can't catch me.
Good.
And the band, most people call it Take the Load Off Annie, but it's not called that. What's the name of the song?
The Wait.
The Wait by the band. It's not
30.
That's the information you go to the water cooler with after today's show, is that it's not called Take a Load Off Annie. It's The Wait. That is Addie Bates. Laura Jimenez out in California running the board. What a day it was. What a day in sports. Seahawks. Super Bowl starts now. Raiders, you're on the clock. Ugh. College football playoff. We're in the middle of it. This has been, it always will be. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. It's the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.